Hey, what's up guys, QC1 here, and today we're back on Hypixel for another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Spirit Mask. Now, this item is actually a really good item that not a lot of people are talking about. But yeah, anyway, Floor 4 has been out for a couple weeks now. The tryhards such as myself, I'm kind of slacking a little bit because it was gone for like 4 or 5 days. So I'm a little bit low on the leaderboards right now. I think I'm like 150th place or something for Floor 4 kills, which ain't bad honestly. I thought I would have went lower. I would drop down to like 200 after I left for like 4 or 5 days. But yeah, anyway, I'm at like 400 thorn kills. But yeah, most of us tryhards are doing pretty good. Usually we can complete like Floor 4 S runs on like averaging like 5 to 6 minutes is like decent times. Anything over that and then like people get triggered, which is kind of funny. Like people don't get, well, usually on Floor 3 runs are more consistent because the boss is just like you kill it in like 2 seconds. But yeah, this boss is like the times can vary dependent on if Thorn dodges your arrows or a bat blocks your arrow out of nowhere. It doesn't happen very often, but I guess it happens sometimes. But yeah, most people are doing pretty good, but there's some people that it doesn't go so well for.
Oh, what the?
Oh, alright, well.
Would never run to my... This floor is so much harder, man. I actually need to stop behaving like a moron.
But yeah, anyway, I watch quite a few YouTubers for Hypixel Skyblock, and while I don't think I've seen anybody do even decently in Floor 4, well, there's people who do decent, but I don't think I've seen a YouTuber who's like above level 24 in Catacombs, so usually they don't have the best of stuff, and I obviously haven't seen any YouTuber who's been a part of Tier 9 Perfect gang, which kind of sad, man, kind of sad. But yeah, most of them are usually running like Zombie Soldier with Bonzo Mask or Adaptive. Now, Adaptive is a struggle because you don't have the second life that Bonzo would, and even with Bonzo, you basically only get 1 second life out of it because of basically the cooldown that's so long that you can only really pop it once during a dungeon run, assuming you guys finish it in like a decent time. Whereas the Spirit Mask, it has a cooldown of 30 seconds, which kind of good. So usually you can pop your Spirit Mask like 10 times in a run, which usually you shouldn't be doing, or probably even more than 10 times, honestly. But I usually like maybe pop my Spirit Mask once in a run, and that's because my gear is good. Like assuming you have like my ideal setup if you can't get Tier 9 Perfect, because obviously expenses flip. Usually super heavy would be a really good set as well. Full legendary don't think costs more than like 10 mil for the 3/4 of the pieces, and then Spirit Mask is like 350k from the auction house, so there's literally no reason to get it. I'm not sure what Bonzo Mask is, but I'm pretty sure it's either that price or higher than it. So like if you can't afford a Spirit Mask, then like I don't know what you're doing, man. But yeah, super heavy is a good alternative. If you want, you can also run Zombie Soldier, Zombie Knight. You can run 3/4 Adaptive as well if you really want to. But my biggest recommendation would be either Tier 9 Perfect if you can afford it. If you can't, then go with super heavy. If you can't afford that, then like I don't know, Zombie Soldier. Just, I don't know, man. But yeah, basically for dungeons, you just need to be tanky, dude. Because how the dungeons progress in difficulty is basically they just up the damage for all the mobs, and well, they up the health, I guess, but that's not as big a part. You just need to be able to survive. That's the biggest key thing, because usually you'll be able to one-shot most mobs, and then, well, for the bosses, those usually die pretty quickly anyway. But yeah, usually survivability is huge, so that's why I'm saying Spirit Mask. Another part of the Spirit Mask that I think makes it really good as well is compared to the Bonzo Mask, it's actually an epic rarity item. So whatever reforge you have on it, for me I run Fierce, so I get a little bit extra reforge stats for crit damage, crit chance, which is really nice. I think it gives extra strength as well. So that's a huge thing as well. And another part of it, I actually get 45 speed. For you it'd probably be a little bit less if your Catacombs level ain't as high, but for me I get 45 speed from just having the Spirit Mask on, which definitely helps, especially if you're not like level 25 catacombs and you're running like a young set or something. Then it's definitely a lot of speed, especially if you're running, well, 3/4 perfect tier 9. Usually you'd be a little bit slower than those a little bit less tanky young set people, but with this you'll be like just as fast, if not just, well, basically just as fast. But yeah, the only really main downside that I see to using the spirit mask is it doesn't mention in chat when it actually pops, but which is probably the main issue I had at the start, which was kind of annoying, honestly. But basically you just get used to seeing, oh, I'm at like 1 heart right now and I just took damage, and I didn't take damage because you have the damage and vulnerability for 3 seconds. And usually, you know, it's like, okay, I'm low health, gotta pop my ornate zombie so I'm back out for a second. But yeah, that's probably the only main downside that I see to it, because obviously not getting the full regen from the Bonzo mask is a little bit of a downside to it, but it's not as huge as having a 300-second cooldown versus a 30-second cooldown, in my opinion. Now, let's get into what classes should be using this helmet and what classes really shouldn't. For healers, is probably one of the classes you shouldn't be using it for. You should be always using, well, the Mender helmet for healing, especially when, assuming they actually add healer items, then you probably want to be using a Mender helmet for sure. And the other class would be Mage. Mage is basically dependent. If you're really tanky and you got tier 9 perfect, I'd probably go Shadow Goggles any day, because 60% damage is just like, well, you kind of need it. Maybe in later floors, if like you kind of need something like this to actually survive, then you might have to switch back to Spirit Mask. But if you're like part of the tier 9 perfect gang, or I don't know, maybe you got like young armor, then you're probably fine wearing Shadow Goggles. But if you're not a tanky person, like like you have, I don't know, bad catacomb level, or maybe you're still wearing Zombie Soldier or something like that, then for Mage you definitely could probably use the Spirit Mask. Like some of these YouTubers, they I can tell you they'd definitely not die as much if they wore a Spirit Mask, dude, compared to like a Bonzo staff or Bonzo mask, because, well, they pop it once and then they're basically vulnerable to death for the rest of the run, or at least a big portion of it. So having a Spirit Mask would definitely help them out. For every class, though, I'd probably wear it. I'm an archer. I'm pretty sure the Skeleton Master armor still doesn't work. I tested it out once. It didn't increase my damage like at all practically. It increased it a little bit, obviously, because it gives more crit damage, but it definitely doesn't increase arrow damage by 40%. Or it definitely doesn't work as intended. Or, well, how it's outlined, I'd say. So that's why I wear tier 9 perfect as an archer and with a Spirit Mask. So I mean, honestly, I could probably run like a Tarantula helmet because I'm tanky enough that I wouldn't even really have to wear or worry about it. Or I could probably just wear Skeleton Master helmet and probably do pretty good as well. But yeah, basically every other class tank, I would say you'd probably do pretty good wearing it, unless you're a Mage tank hybrid, which honestly, if you're a tank, you should be a Mage tank hybrid, so you should probably be wearing Shadow Goggles anyway. For Berserker, I could probably say it's probably a good idea. Basically, Berserkers, the only time I see them, they're just always wearing adaptive. I don't think I've ever seen a Berserker wear anything else, except I think I saw one guy wearing like full Zombie Knight, which was kind of weird, but there's that, I guess. But yeah, for Berserker, I'd wear Spirit Goggles basically all the time anyway. But yeah, anyway, I think that's about it for the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is probably one of the better items, I'd say, that nobody really has talked about. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. You guys can check out some of my Ever Dungeon videos. We've got some pretty cool stuff. If you guys want to know what I was talking about tier 9 perfect, then you can watch that video, I guess. It probably shouldn't be too hard to find. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you